Hey guys, it's Nate, aka TheFutAccountant. Welcome back to the channel. The most popular word on FC25 in the last week has been compensation, because EA keep making mistakes, specifically with packs in the store, and that means they have to cover up their tracks with some sort of compensation. So like yesterday, where a lot of people were getting 91 plus icon packs that were finally given out after EA compensated that messed up icon pack, and another potential pack that was messed up in Chinese yesterday. We have to talk about that, and we need to address this whole issue, guys, because history tells us that EA is not done making these mistakes. There's going to be more of them, and we got to talk about the whole situation in history with compensation. And of course, we got to look at today's content as well. Finally, can we get these Thunderstruck upgrades, EA? We're getting the FC Pro Live upgrades because Tuesday we get those. Our favorite right back SBC is getting 2 upgrades, not just 1. But can we please get the Thunderstruck upgrades too that we've been waiting so long for? And of course, guys, we'll talk about the market. If you're excited for the video, drop a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. Let's look over yesterday's quiet day of Monday content, because let's be honest, Mondays are usually pretty quiet. And with the FC Pro stuff going on, it seems like the past few weeks, Mondays have been really quiet. Of course, with the FC Pro matches going on yesterday, you could have watched and got the Gabriel Jesus and the 50K pack. Next Monday, we'll have another 50K pack and a Palacios loan. And then, of course, the 84 times 5 for completing the whole objective. There was the Mystery Nation, of course, which is Cameroon. If you want to go hit a couple finesse shots, you can score a finesse shots with Cameroon players and get a premium Electrum pack there. Also in objectives, there was a random one-off Liga F kind of cosmetic objective for some kits and badges and stuff like that. So that was there, and that was basically it. Now, we said it was a quiet day. There was a couple SBCs dropped yesterday as well. This was the main player SBC, right? EA did say we're getting a player SBC every single day during this promo. Baggio. Now, Baggio's got the 5-star skills, the 4-star weak foot, and if you need a creative player, this is probably your guy. I mean, you have to use him at cam because that's the only position that he has. Technical plus, he's got great dribbling and great passing stats and good play styles all around, but this card does have some glaring weaknesses. The rolls are not one of them. He can have ++ in the half winger and in shadow striker, so that's nice. We're starting to get more cards now that have 2 roll ++s on their items. It's only 10 squads, and the price is coming in at about 470k. Now, the reason why I don't hate this SBC is because I don't think the price is terrible. Do I think the card's great? I really don't. The biggest glaring stat on this card that a lot of people are pointing out is 73 shot power, which for a center attacking mid with 83 shooting, I mean, that's very, very low. But that's, again, kind of what his base card has had. +1 over the base. I think for the price of this, it's not terrible. You got to want to use Baggio, though, to be wanting to do this SBC. If you just want to dribble around people, do 5-star skills, and do technical dribbling, this is going to be a great card for you. But to be honest, I think a lot of us can find a better player for cheaper already in our club, or maybe, you know, through an evolution that you could use instead of this Baggio. So, again, I think it's got to be, you really want to use Baggio if you're doing this SBC. Now, the other SBC we had yesterday was the 81 plus double, which I'm actually a fan of these guys. They were out during Black Friday. I'm a fan of these. It only requires 6 rares and 8 golds in total. You get 2 81 plus cards. I feel like the weight for the 83s, 4s, and 5s of these is pretty good. Again, you're not guaranteed to get anything super crazy, and I know right now there's not a lot in packs for when we last had these out, right? But I still think this is a decent upgrade pack SBC. Player picks maybe would have been a little bit better, but I'm just kind of rinsing my lower tier part of the club into this to at least try to get some 84s, 5s, maybe a couple of walkouts. And to be honest, I might craft a base icon upgrade this week to, you know, with the SBCs that are out, like some of the lower rated squads, cheaper players, like maybe the Showdown I'll do. Still looking at the Payor that I might get her done. The McTominay might get his SBC done. But like other than that, the icon SBC is a little tempting right now because there's not a whole lot else to do, at least at the moment. But like I mentioned, and like EA said, we're going to get a player SBC every day. So we'll probably get another one of those today too. Now, we also did have a challenge SBC yesterday for a small Prime Electrum Players pack. Guess I should mention that. And then since we're talking about SBCs, fodder, guys, yeah, fodder's really not moving a whole lot. Maybe up just a little bit more from where it was yesterday. You're looking at 88s now that are almost touching 18,000 coins again. So, of course, on Sunday with the Rivals drop, some of these were actually down. Griezmann's an expensive 88. He was down at 15K. Others were 14,000 coins, and now they're 18K. So a really nice rise there. And I think the higher rated fodder, still, we've got a big SBC on the horizon. Premier League Player of the Month voting has kind of just ended, and Mohamed Salah is the favorite to win it. It's not a guarantee, but if he does win, that will be an SBC that you may want to hold your higher rated fodder for. just in case that's a good SBC and it could go up. We'll have to see. Now, let's get into the biggest news, guys. Let's talk about this compensation because yesterday, early on Monday, the news started arriving that EA was giving out those compensation packs, and they actually replied to their tweet from November 27th when that icon pack was messed up in the store. They said, affected players have been sent corrected rewards. Thanks for your patience. Well, we got to talk about this, right? Because you maybe saw yesterday people posting pictures of all their 91 plus icons they were opening. These were really insane. Like, we saw people packing Bobby Charlton, Carlos Alberto, the R9s, the Ronaldinhos. I mean, yesterday we talked about the promo Ronaldinho coming out of those player picks. People were packing base Ronaldinho, still a 5 million coin card from the icon compensation packs. These were pretty crazy, let's be honest. A lot of huge W pulls, but also along with that, you have people that weren't able to get the compensation, weren't on at the time, maybe didn't have the coins, whatever it may be, or some people who even opened the pack expecting compensation and then didn't end up getting it because the way EA, either skipped over them or maybe they didn't have the right language on or whatever. Like, there's also a lot of frustration with this, and that's what I want to talk about too, because compensation is never a dub, it's a dub and an L at the same time because there's a lot of people that aren't on to get involved with it. And that's one of the things that I personally don't like about it is it just it kind of divides the community. You get people that are getting on, they get compensation. Like, I know a lot of you guys that got insane pulls. I was tweeted a bunch yesterday. I even got Rooney earlier on in the year from one of those compensation packs, right? And then other people are like, man, I missed out on it. And now I have to play against all of these icons that people have packed. And it really creates a kind of crazy dynamic in the game. Now, we're still waiting as we go back and look at the direct communications Twitter account here. We're still waiting on a compensation 90 plus. Remember, there was another Chinese pack that was messed up in the store on Saturday, a past, present, and future grab bag pack. So there's another 90 plus compensation that's going to have to be coming out at some point as well. And then yesterday, to add on top of things, the 475K pack in the store, people were saying there was an issue with the language in Chinese again. One of the Chinese languages, it said no lower than 90, allegedly. Now, guys, there was a lot of conversation about this, a lot of double checking and fact checking. People were doing the text into Chat GPT and then into Google Translate, and it was giving them different things. Now, here's the thing. Is there going to be compensation from the 475K pack from yesterday? The same one that had the mistake earlier on the weekend? I don't think so, because here's what didn't happen. EA did not remove the pack again, and they also did not tweet about it. This is the same one they tweeted about on Saturday, so I think from that instance there's going to be compensation, but from Foot Sheriff's tweet yesterday and from what a lot of people were posting, I don't actually think there was a compensation that you could have taken advantage of yesterday. We'll have to see. But again, usually the golden sign is EA takes the pack away or they at least tweet about it, right? That's what they've done, I think, every time this year. Maybe the first compensation they didn't, but I believe for all the other ones, they did do that. So I am not expecting compensation for the situation that happened yesterday. So I wanted to talk about that because a lot of people were talking about it. And there's a lot of people like, yes, it's going to be comp. No, it's not. There was a lot of that yesterday too. So that's looking like cap, in my opinion there. Now, obviously, guys, all this is avoidable. And I want to talk about compensation in general for a second because this is something that actually happens every single year. Guys, we've been getting compensation for years. I've benefited. A lot of you guys have benefited from EA mistakes in the past, and we've come to know a lot of the time, not every time, because it's always a tricky situation, but especially with packs in the store, when there's wording that is messed up in certain languages, we've come to know when EA are going to be dropping compensation, and EA is not going to stop making mistakes, guys. This is going to be something that we're going to continue to see. Like, look at this tweet. Foot Sheriff tweeted this a couple of days ago. Last year, around the exact same time, EA was giving compensation for a 500K pack in the store that was basically the same thing. The wording was off, which of course draws out the question, is EA doing this on purpose to make money? And honestly, guys, we'll never know. It's a pretty good theory, to be honest. The timing, it lines up. It's kind of like, it makes you think a little bit, right? And of course, when EA dropped these packs and people on Twitter are talking about, oh, compensation, this and that, there's definitely people that go out and buy these packs with FC points and not just coins. But the whole reason that EA has to do compensation when packs in the store are messed up wording wise, or if it says something like it's going to give a max 90, but actually something in a different language says 90 plus, the reason they have to give out compensation is legal issues, right? That is the whole thing. It's legal issues, because if they're not giving you what they're saying that they're giving you, that could be a problem for them. So on the flip side, if they're doing this on purpose to make money, think about it. If they ever get found out that they are conspiring against their consumers to make the words of the packs get messed up so that they can get people to rush buy it, they would also get in really big trouble. So I personally don't think they do it on purpose, but man, the evidence is crazy, man. The consistency of the mistakes is pretty crazy. It's like EA have certain times throughout the year, every year, like right now is one of them, where there's always mistakes in compensation. Again, like check back in and remember this in March and in April. During March and April, every single year, there's a bunch of mistakes as well, usually around FUT birthday, during team of the season. It's just weird. It's just weird, man. So those are just some conspiracy theories that we have to discuss and talk about, because a lot of people are saying that stuff. And, we'll never know. We'll honestly never know. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this is, in the end, compensation kind of divides the community. I know some of you guys watching this are like, Nate, my team is looking sick now. I packed Bobby Charlton yesterday, or I packed, R9 or whoever. My team is sick because I opened that icon pack. And then other people are like, yo, I didn't get it, and now I have to play against all these guys that have these insane icons. And it's very demoralizing, right? You feel left out. And I don't think EA benefit from that. It's kind of a negative thing no matter how you slice it. So I just wanted to talk about it, though, because just when you look in the future at these compensation situations, it's always good to double check before you go sprint to the store and open up a pack. It's always good to try to read through Twitter and see what people are saying before going and doing any of that. Never spend any real money to try to take advantage of compensation. I myself has decided this year that I'm not going to be doing that, so I did not get a 91 plus icon pack. I haven't opened any compensation packs since the first one that happened this year. But I know a lot of you guys, like to do that and go for that. So definitely go for it if you want to go for it. It's a way that you feel like you can get an advantage in this game because of an EA mistake. And I totally understand that. But I also totally understand the other side where it feels very unfair. And I think EA don't win when they make mistakes like this. So let's move on to something a little more positive and more fun, because we love it when we get cards upgraded, right? And yesterday, that SBC that a lot of us did a couple of weeks ago, actually it might have been a month ago now, Sasha Bowie, the right back, this is something that a lot of us agree on, right? Sasha Bowie finally got some upgrades for his card because his pro yesterday was not having a good showing. And then all of a sudden he turned it around and got 2 wins. And Sasha Bowie is getting 2 upgrades, guys. This 87 Bowie is going to turn into an 88 rated card and get a weak foot or a skill move boost. Now, I think we're hoping for the weak foot. Of course, it's a right back. Having that 3-star weak foot would be very, very helpful for when passing out of the back. 5-star skills would be pretty crazy as well. I mean, that might be kind of fun to have the technical with the 5-star skills on your right back, Sasha Bowie. But that's an upgrade that will be happening today, because pretty consistently every week, the FC Pro Live cards have been getting upgraded on Tuesdays. The other upgrades we're going to see, Gravenberch is going to get a +1 and a skill move weak foot. Insigne had the most upgrades. He's the only card that's going to be getting 3 upgrades. He's going to get a +1 skill moves to weak foot, which hopefully it's skill moves for him. And then he's also going to get a playstyle and a new roll a roll plus, I believe. And then Ake is going to get only a +1. Forsberg's going to get the weak foot skills and a +1, and then Katioglu +1 and the weak foot and skills as well. So just watch out for those upgrades to take place probably later in the day today on Tuesday, as they normally have been. These cards, by the way, they kind of had some crazy movements. Now, a lot of them are down from where they were pre-game. I think all of them, maybe besides Insigne, because he's getting the most upgrades, are down from where they were. Gravenberch was like 950K before the game started. During the game, he went up even to almost 1 million coins, and then after, he dropped down to 800,000 coins, but he's back up now. Personally, I don't like how these cards are still pretty expensive. I know in the stage of the market that we're in, these cards can hold a higher price because there's a little bit more hype for them. There's nothing coming in the future, at least the near future, that people feel like they have to panic sell for. So I think these cards will probably hold value, but I'm still not trading with any of them at the moment. I mean, if you look at Ake, right? Ake was 300K yesterday. Now he's 220. He might bounce back. He might have some fluctuations, but I'm going to steer clear of those cards personally today because they're not super duper low like the previous week's cards were after the matches. So that's just my take on that. But speaking of upgrades, EA, can we freaking please get these Thunderstruck cards upgraded? I think we had the last league games of the game week happen yesterday. Can we please get these cards upgraded, man? I don't know what is taking so long. Some of these cards, like Kunde, I'm pretty sure has been waiting since... Has it been November? I mean, almost darn near November when this card played. I mean, last week for sure, December 4th. Some of these guys clinched up their upgrades, but it's just felt like ages, man. Now, it also seems, I think we have a good sign towards the upgrades. Like yesterday, EA was responding to stuff. It's like times where EA just go on hiatus and they just forget about the game, it seems, for a second, or at least fixing things that are messed up on the game. They hadn't tweeted about them fixing a mistake on this game. I mean, they were catching up from November 27th. You see the response here. And then November 26th, they fixed the Pro Cosmetic Evo that was not showing correctly in the game, right? They fixed that yesterday too. So it seems like they're coming back and starting to fix things. Again, we'll never make sense of why they seem to go radio silent sometimes in terms of fixes, but they just do. Hopefully that means we get the Thunderstruck upgrades today as well. Again, small hopes for that. And again, with these card prices, it's kind of all over the place. It's going to depend per card what happens, in my opinion. Some of them are expected to go to a new rating, which will mean they're the same rating as fodder. So like 88s are all 17, 18,000 coins, and Greenwood is 15K. So we would expect her to kind of go up at that price. But mostly the other cards, especially if it's getting a full upgrade, like the Saliba, that's just the example I think of off the top of my head. I'm a little, not worried, but just I'm curious to see it. Is there any panic selling after these cards get their upgrades, or has it been so long that people are just like not wanting to hold on to anymore and invest, and maybe they sold out of it? I'm really curious to see. We might be trading with these today if they get their upgrades. There will probably be some more fluctuations if that does happen. Now, speaking of market stuff and prices moving, yesterday was a really good day to trade. I know we talked about it in the video. I really hope you guys bought some cards, because with how big the market dropped off on Sunday, it made for some really, really good rises on Monday, and the market's probably going to stay high today too, right? I bought 10 Kimmich, all for 215 to 220,000 coins, some of them a little even below that. Sold them all between 247. I sold some early, and then I sold the rest at 260 to 267K. So I made basically 300,000 coins, maybe a little bit more on those Kimmich cards there. Carvalho, some of the out-of-packs cards were good flips. Basically, most of the market that dropped on Sunday had a nice rise. So we definitely talked about that yesterday. We were very hopeful for a rise, and we got that. Now, if you're looking to trade, the market today is probably going to be pretty flat, honestly, with not a lot of content expected to be dropped. I think one thing you can do today to actually make some coins is kind of throw it back to more of the grindy methods, right? Kimmich is probably not a good example of this, but if we go for Nico Schlotterbeck, chemistry style trading. We talk about this a lot earlier in the year. It's kind of an early game grindy method for making coins, but it's a coin making method. It's going to work flawlessly right now. People are still buying cards for teams. They're still trying to market out in terms of, you know, buying players for their teams. That's really what you want to see, right? This Schlotterbeck sells for 36,000 coins on the market with a shadow. He's 41K. That is chem style trading. Buy the card with the chemistry style applied, sell it for a bit more. Jorginho, if you're on a low budget, this one's awesome. Jorginho is also really good to just bid on, get on a low bid, because he's 13,000 coins, but people are putting him into that Evo, right? That gives him an upgrade and makes him a decently usable card. So he sells for like 13K normally. With a shadow, I think he's 17. Is that right? Oh, man. How much? Oh, man. How much? Jorginho's 19K with a shadow. That is really good profit. I'm probably thinking that it's not always that good of a range of profit per card. But if you see somebody list Jorginho at 14, 13K with that shadow applied, that's a lot of profit for the price that card is. That's really good profit. So that's one way you can trade today. Get on bids, get on snipes for a card like that, and just normal fluctuations that you have. Like yesterday, I picked up an Eden Hazard Hero because I saw that he was down at 1.599, basically 1.6 mil flat. And I was like, wait a second. He was 1.72 earlier in the day. That's kind of what he is right now as well. Cards are having their normal fluctuations. Prices are moving well, and you can absolutely trade it in and out of that. So the market's not crashing or really dropping a whole lot, but I mean, prices are still fluctuating. Even though we have been saying they're going to keep trending down, I do believe that is what is going to happen. But right now, the market's still at least in a spot where it's very safe to trade. I don't know if today's content's really going to make the market move a whole lot. I think it's going to be a pretty slower type of day, but we definitely have to watch out for some of these UCL cards like this Jude Bellingham. That's what I want to talk about here in a second. Now, let's talk about Tuesday content. What's EA going to do today to make things spicy? Now, we're getting a player SBC, right? We said it every day, player SBC. Lucas Beraldo, stats official. for him. I think that card doesn't look that great, but if he's dirt cheap, then sure. I mean, sure. Also, 86 rated, he might fit that Evo. So maybe with the Evo, that would come alongside a Kanji as a card that would actually be worth putting into the Ultimate Succession Upgrade Evo. I'm pretty sure he would fit if he's 86 rated, because Akanji is 86 rated as well, right? Yeah, he is. And Akanji is one of the best upgrades in this Evo. I packed him yesterday for Foot Champs, but I was like, let me get the 90,000 coins instead of putting in here. So maybe this Beraldo comes today as an SBC, and maybe you can put him in the Evo. That's something to watch out for. The other SBCs, I think we have a Canadian women's midfielder, Fleming, and there's one other card, Ashley Young, that we're still waiting on too. We're getting one every single day. I don't expect it to be a crazy content today at all. Other content on Tuesday I expect would be the refresh of the rush points. I don't think we're getting a new mode, but this refreshing today would give you a couple more packs to go and stack and grind if you want to go ahead and do that. And then I think Tuesdays have been days where we've been getting Evos. There's not an Evo that's expiring today that would need to be replaced. The Team of the Week Surge expires tomorrow, so make sure if you want to get this one done, put somebody into it. I know a lot of us have a ton of Team of the Week cards in our club right now. There's just nobody that, when I look at these, that I'm like, yo, I gotta have it with Pinged Pass Plus personally. Maybe I'll regret not doing this Evo, but at least for right now, I'm kind of like, nah, on that one. But maybe we get an Evo today. That would be super nice. I know we had some great Evo content over the weekend. I'm still not sure who I'm putting into Dino Magic, but I got to put somebody into that one. Hopefully we have a little bit of something there today. And the last thing, as I kind of already alluded to, we got Champions League matches today, and there aren't that many cards that are on the line for upgrades, but a guy like Jude Bellingham still is. Make sure to check the Footman tracker. Of course, if Dortmund, they play Atalanta today, if they win and, of course, score a goal, which would kind of go hand in hand, as we normally say, Jude Bellingham would go to a 93 rated card. He would get that +2 that he has not been able to get yet. Dortmund, Dortmund, they beat Dortmund earlier on. They beat Stuttgart. They need that third win, though, and maybe Atalanta could give them that today, and then the score in 4 games too. So that's one thing to watch out for today. I'm keeping an eye on this Jude Bellingham. I'd like him at 1.55 or below. I think he's going to be over 1.6, maybe even 1.7 today. I mean, imagine this card with a +2. That would look incredible. It would look insane. So that's a card to watch today for sure. And then, last thing I'm going to shout out to is we mentioned at the end of yesterday's video, we know the promo that's coming next because EA have literally said it right here, right? Globetrotters with his Tagliafico card. It's basically radioactive from last year. I think Tuesdays each week has been the day where the leakers start to give us a little bit of intel on what the next promo is going to be. So watch out for that maybe today as well. Even though EA have kind of already told us here, maybe there's some more information that they will have, and watch out for that today too. So not a whole lot going on today, guys, but there is UCL, so that's exciting for the football world, and maybe just a good day too if you're grinding the game a little bit. Just make sure you catch up on those daily games. Like, I keep forgetting to play 1 win a day in the cup mode for the max tactics, but this is really important if you want to get the player picks. I'm 2 days behind, so I can't miss a day throughout the rest of this. The SP grind for me is in full force too. I just did some of the friendly modes. I don't think we're getting a new one of these today because the Argentina and Italy one still has a couple of days left on it, but the French and England one too, got to keep working on this, getting my SP. I'm behind for sure, but I just hit level 14. I'm not even halfway there. I still have 20 levels to go. Frick, man. I see that on the top of Footbin, Konate is there. So I think people are actually getting to level 35, which is crazy. Let me know in the comments what level you are, because I am definitely not level 35. But anyways, that's the video for me today, guys. If you did enjoy it, drop a thumbs up on it. Comment down below if you have any questions. And, of course, subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys in the Twitch stream today. That link's down below in the description. And let me know what you feel about compensation. It's a tricky topic, but we got to talk about it because it happens all the time, and we just need to be prepared for it in the future. And, we'll be watching for it as always. And there's still more compensation to come after the 90-plus pack that was messed up. We'll still be waiting for EA to message about that one. Anyway, guys, have a great Tuesday. I will see you in the stream today. It's been TheFutAccountant. See you there. Peace.